Greetings and welcome to another one of ADemonic News. Well, this isn't necessarily a news video, but more than like my opinion on video games. But it's still going to be the news/intake video, but you know, whatever. Moving on. I am your host, ADemonic Wizard on Twitch, ADemonicShadow for literally everything else. And today's topic is the 10 games in no specific order, because I just couldn't. Games that I'm looking forward to playing in 2016. I'm entirely sure that some of these games are probably, at least not all these games are. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of these games are going to be played in 2016. Once again, they're no in specific order, because I just couldn't. So we're just going to go ahead and go down. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Of course, you're all aware. An action-adventure third-person shooter platforming video game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, this is the last of the Uncharted Dog series, but this is a game I am definitely hoping to play. And just like all the other games on this list, I will be playing at release to the best I can. And I only say that to Xbox because I currently don't have an Xbox game. Xbox One, and there's an Xbox game that I really do want to play. Of course, you've already seen my other videos. The multiplayer beta for the game was freaking amazing. Can't wait to play online. It's really weird, and I'm eager to play online as much as I actually do want to play a story. That's probably just me. I really do enjoy playing Uncharted Online. That and Assassin's Creed Online, even though no one really ever plays it, are some of the games I have the most fun playing online just because of how unique it is. Moving on, and this is the Xbox One title of Gears of War 4. It is an upcoming third-person shooter video game by the Collision. Excuse me. By Microsoft Studios. Published by Microsoft Studios for the Xbox One. This is the I hopefully should have an Xbox One before this game comes out. It's released for Q4 2016, so I do have some time to go ahead and get that. Not really in a rush, but it's necessarily on my list of things to play. I am slightly concerned because it's not necessarily made by Epic, which I did believe made the previous games. Unfortunately, yeah, they did make the previous series of the games. I didn't play Judgment, and never really wanted to. That does kind of worry me, that not being made by Epic or the Epic Games, but I'm still have hopes for it. I'm a big, huge Gears of War fan. I played all of them, or at least I played the 1, 2, and 3. Love the story. Love just the world that they created. Unfortunately, we kind of did get a bad video at E3. It was kind of too dark. I believe I said muddy. I'm not entirely sure what I said. But it was a little bit too dark. But outside that, still looking forward to the game. Persona 5. An upcoming role-playing video game and developed by Atlas for the PlayStation 3 and 4. Was scheduled to be released last year, as unfortunately it did not. Its new release date or released area is Q2, Q3 of 2016. Definitely high hopes for this game. The only Persona games that I did actually play was Persona 3 and the Persona 3 Portable, playing as a female. That's my favorite. I did have a chance to play 1 and 2. I didn't like it that much. I think 1, my save data got corrupted or something like that, and 2, I think I just lost the game for it, so I never could finish it. I didn't really like that much. Persona 4, the only reason why I didn't play Persona 4 is because I watched several of my friends play it, so there was kind of no real reason to play it myself. I've watched way too much content spoiling the game for me and everything like that, especially the ending of who did it. But nevertheless, I'm definitely hyped for Persona 5 and playing as Harry Potter. Whatever. Tom Clancy's Division. An open world third-person shooter role-player video game with survival elements developed by Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is, you know, studios and whatever like that for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. Unfortunately, it's being made by Ubisoft, who I currently don't really like right now, considering the last game I bought, Assassin's Creed Unity. I bought it at release, did not work. I was gonna like, oh, I'm gonna wait, and you know, when it gets patched, I'll play it again. Never really got back into it. I honestly did not play more than like 2 hours of the game, unfortunately. The other game that was really disappointing from Ubisoft is The Crew. I was not really liking The Crew. I feel like the game engines for the game, I feel like the game physics was a little bit too easy. I mean, they probably patched it from the game, but the demo unfortunately leaded me away from it. But necessarily, I am looking forward to the Division. I played the early Tom Clancy games, mainly from PlayStation 2. I necessarily can't remember, and I was too lazy to look it up, so that's just me being a bad YouTuber and making a bad video. But it's initially what people are, you know, I'm hoping it's, you know, what it is. It's pretty much a World of Warcraft, like WoW, except it's with guns. And, you know, in the open world, not necessarily, you know, like WoW, where there's, you know, all that quests and stuff like that, but, you know, some type of, like, something like that, if anything, like a Destiny, but just open world to where you can go ahead and interact, play with friends. There's PvP areas, there's safe zones, so in case, you know, you want to be safe, there's, you know, PvP areas and stuff like that. You can necessarily, you know, go into the buildings and everything. And, of course, there's the door from the demo. If you don't know what the door is from the demo, you clearly are not hyped for the Division and whatever. And even though it is, you know, once again, Ubisoft, and they tend to not have good releases, and sometimes I feel like they're doing it solely for the money. Assassin's Creed series, excuse me, but I'm definitely going to be playing this game for release, yeah, so you definitely look forward to that. Moving on to, of course, Ratchet & Clank 2016. That's what it's called because they didn't give it a name. It's just Ratchet & Clank. So it's weird because it's a reboot, so to speak, but at the same time, like, it's a reboot, but it's weird to call it a reboot because it's not like Ratchet & Clank has died and not been anywhere for 5-10 years or something like that. But Ratchet & Clank, upcoming platforming video game underdeveloped by Insomniac Games. Once again, one of my top 2 favorite developers. So, Naughty Dog and Insomniac are, once again, my 2 favorite. And to be published by Sony Computer Entertainment. They're also releasing a movie that's tied in with the game. I believe the movie comes after the game. The release date was pushed back. Its release date is now April 12, 2016, a few days after my birthday, so that's definitely going to be hype. Definitely looking forward to playing this game. The game looks beautiful. I can't wait to see all the crazy guns that they have there. Moving on. Horizon Zero Dawn. An upcoming action role-player video game developed by Guerrilla Games and published by Sony for the PlayStation 4, 2016. Giant robot dinosaurs. Sold. Next up, Final Fantasy 15. Up and coming action role-playing video game and being developed by Square Enix for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Square Enix is solely working up to being my or at least honestly, just at least with me, it's just developers I like, developers that are cool I'm cool with, and the developers I don't like. Right now I'm cool with Square. Moving forward, since they've finally done with all this freaking bullshit Lightning trilogy shit like that. I'm sorry, I didn't like Lightning. I don't like Lightning as his character. I didn't like either of the games for her. I do want to play X2 because that, I believe, is the better one of the trilogies, even though they're not really a trilogy, but, you know, it's whatever. I mean, if they made a tactics game, right there, they're in the top 3. But It's Square. I'm definitely looking forward to 15. I'm definitely looking forward, if anything, I'm looking forward to not necessarily the story, but I'm looking forward to the gameplay aspect, especially from the demo of how how you're able to teleport in combat. And I'm really excited for that because I think that's really cool how you can, especially playing the demo where you can just attack, teleport away, hang on like a wall, chill for a little bit, and then go back into combat. I thought that was really cool, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Plus, just the whole, it's the first, not necessarily, well, yeah, it's the first, you know, Final Fantasy game where everything's actually real life size, and not linear. It's a fully open world game that you can explore. And I think that's really cool, where you can literally walk up to the enemies, you know, the bosses and enemies you're gonna fight, and just engage in them or just leave. That's one thing I really did like, taking on from Final Fantasy 12. Sorry, 12 was, I love the gameplay for 12. I think that was really cool. So 15, and you know, it's not like 13. You want to get out the way from an attack, get the fuck away out the attack. Another thing I'm looking forward to about Final Fantasy 15, sorry, is the summons. I really do like how they make the summons where they're nicely cutscenes and everything like that. I thought that was fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of them. I'm sure, excuse me, I know it's not going to be me myself because I doubt I'm going to unlock them despite, or even play that game enough to get them all, but what I'm going to definitely want to do is find that person who finds a compilation of all the summons doing their summon video, and hopefully add a good music video to it. And then I can rewatch that all the time like I did with Final Fantasy VII's Limit Break, Final Fantasy VIII Limit Breaks, and everything like that. Moving on, the Fire Emblem Fates. Not sure which one I'm going to buy as of right now. More than likely, you'll probably end up buying both copies with the DLC. It's weird because I didn't finish Fire Emblem Awakening despite how much I did love it. I think it's because I wanted to get my character as strong as possible, which I probably is what killed it for me. It's because I try to make the best. I would have the best people make the strongest kid, and that kind of threw me off because sometimes I would make mistakes, and it's like, I'm gonna go back. That's my fault. I should probably just played it a little bit more casually than I probably would have, you know, played it and beat the game and everything like that. But once again, Fire Emblem Fates, unfortunately, is the only game current. I mean, it's a tactical action. It's a tactical role-playing game for the 3DS, and unfortunately, it's one of the few tactical role-playing games that I can really count on to be, you know, released. You know, Fire Emblem, I don't see it dying anytime soon. Yeah, it's kind of bad that they took out the white magic in Awakening. You know, that's kind of upsetting because it's magic, and they took magic out. But I'm definitely looking for Fire Emblem Fates. Hopefully, yeah, nah, fuck it. Just looking forward to the game. Moving on, and this is totally obvious. I mean, Dark Souls 3. It's an up-and-coming action role-playing video game being developed by From Software. And oh my god, Dark Souls 3. Unfortunately, there's no gameplay of magic, but this game's release date for Japan is March 24th, or is that North America? What? April 12th, sorry. April 12th, 2016. Once again, a few days after my birthday. Yeah. I love the fast pace and what they did here with the game. They're actually combining. It's not as fast as Bloodborne, but it's not as slow as Dark Souls. It's kind of in the middle, and that's something I am looking forward to. I did see the gameplay where you're. One of the few things I think you should do in every video game is stab an arrow. I think if you're an arrow user, you should have an attack or an ability where you can stab people with the arrow. And Bloodborne with its new DLC weapon, which I can't remember, you were able to stab with an arrow, which is pretty cool. And in Dark Souls 3, you can have a bow and you can stab enemies with an arrow. So in case you need a close range attack while using a bow, I'm not saying I'm gonna use bows, but I can't wait to see the magic in the game. I love the demo for it, especially when the main character, you know, whatever, is killing these little tree creatures, and then the giant tree in the background rotates and started coming alive. I was like, holy shit, it's the boss. Oh my woo! Can't wait to play that. Can't wait to see how magic is played. Wondering if they're actually going to add on to it, considering Dark Souls 2 had hexes, miracles, sorcery, and pyromancy. I don't think they necessarily could add another one. I'm sure they can expand on those and definitely make hexes a lot better, but I'm really curious to see what they do there and see if they do some type of balancing or anything like that among those three. But once again, Dark Souls 2, we're gonna go ahead and I just want to do honorable mentions. These are games that I do want to play, not as much as obviously the ones that I'm announcing for the top 10, but these are necessarily just honorable mentions. Battleborn looked interesting. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, I'm definitely eager to play. I'm kind of curious on the open world aspect. Like, it's cool that it's open world, but I don't know, like, is this gonna be a whole bunch of random like races and stuff like that? That I feel like you play a story mission, you play a bunch of races, you get bored, do a story mission. I don't know, I feel like it could get kind of boring very quickly. I'm not entirely sure if, it's just Mirror's Edge, and instead of there being like a speedrun challenge mode, they just threw it in there. So the only thing that really concerns me about that game is just the open world. I feel like it's either going to be too big or too small. I don't really know. No Man's Sky, this is definitely should be on the, like, this barely missed top 10 by just a little bit. I'm definitely eager to playing that, especially with my friend who, I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry. Definitely looking forward to playing that game. The only thing that necessarily bothers me about this is the same thing that I have with Minecraft, is that you have no real objective other than go to the center of the universe. Outside that, I feel like you have to kind of make your own objectives and everything like that, and I feel like that may kill it for me, because I feel like I'm just kind of mindlessly wandering around until something happens. But nevertheless, I'm still eager to playing No Man's Sky. Dishonored 2, never played Dishonored. I watched a lot of videos on it, which is why I never really got into it, but I'm definitely should have got Dishonored when it was on sale, and I regret that. And I'll probably get it eventually and play it before the game's release. If not, do a little hype, not necessarily just like stream the hell out of that Dishonored before the Dishonored 2 comes out. Recore, the game for Xbox that we literally had no information on, not necessarily no information, no gameplay, no gameplay, no real big news on, but it looks interesting enough on what we can guess from the video from E3, but whatever. Crackdown 3, I played the hell out of Crackdown 1 and 2. Definitely loved how they did that. One of my favorite things about Crackdown, which wasn't, it's once again, it's like the little things for me, but in Crackdown, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2, is when you level up your car or your driving abilities. I once again have not played Crackdown forever. When you would get into a car, you would your car would level up. So let's say, I believe there's 4 levels. So when you got in your car, when you first get into it, it would level up to level 1, and it would just be the base car. So you get into it, it's a base car, it's like, oh cool, it's kind of, plain and whatever, and then you can start driving off. As you drive, the car would literally transform to level 2, gets a little bit cooler, a little bit more sleek, then level 3, then level 4, and that was one of my favorite things about the game, is I would literally get in and get out of the car just to watch it transform as I drive, and I thought that was pretty unique. Moving on to Mass Effect, Mass Effect 4, yeah! I mean, those 3 colorful endings brought us to this one. I'm currently playing Mass Effect 2. I played this game in the weirdest order possible. My friends got me to Mass Effect 3, and they were like, just get it for multiplayer. I got it for multiplayer. Ended up wanting to play the story, so I did. I ended up liking it. Shout out to Fox for donating for Mass Effect Trilogy, so I can, play 1 and 2. Hate 1. Moving on to 2. Really love 2. Unfortunately, it's has a lot of stories and names and backstory and stuff like that, and I tend to get lost in that. So if anything, I'm playing mainly for gameplay, which is why I don't like Mass Effect 1, because the gameplay of the game was kind of bad. moving on. Legend of Zelda Wii U, which I believe is a working title. I have no idea what the release date. I've only played one Zelda game, and it was for the 3DS. I think I'm gonna say Wind Waker. I did enjoy it. I don't know why. It's just, I guess it's just not my cup of tea when it comes to Zelda games. I never really liked them. I always figured the puzzles were easy and stuff like that. The gameplay were relatively simple. But once again, I've never played it. At least for Wind Waker, I found the game entirely too easy. I don't think I died. The only time I ever died is because I messed up or something like that. Not necessarily because something was too hard, but, you know, whatever. I'm definitely wanting to play this game. If anything, one of the things that really captures this is that how the open world is. And sure, they had previous games where it's open world, but one of the things that bothered me at Legend of Zelda, once again, I didn't play a lot, so I'm sure there's someone hating on me. Probably already disliked it, but you would have to, if you wanted to go here, or, you know, somewhere on the map, you would get blocked halfway through, and you have to do like a quest for someone, go back, do a quest for them, and then you can go where your destination was at least for Zelda, or at least for Wind Waker. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm just out of it. Paragon, MOBA game, interesting. It's all that really is. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. It's South Park. I do need to play the first one, which I'll probably do the same thing where I played South Park before the game comes out. I watched a lot of my friends play that, which is why I haven't played the game myself. Mafia 3, mainly because Mafia 2, unfortunately, yes, it's like not God of War. Yes, it's like Grand Theft Auto. It's just there's not a lot of side stuff. The only real thing to do in that game is the story. But I'm hoping they expand on that and they make it more like Grand Theft Auto, where there's more things to do outside the story. And that's the reason why it's not on the top. But that's one of the things I'm definitely looking forward to. Just the story of Mafia 2 is really good. I really did appreciate it. And I'm hoping Mafia 3 continues on that and just expands on more shit to do in the world. And going back to top 10 games that I'm looking for, and this is Uncharted and this game, they're definitely 1 and 2. Which one? Well, this is number 1. This hidden gem's getting some light. Nier Automata. Woo! This one of Nier. I don't want to necessarily say it's my favorite game that I've ever played, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. The only downside of the game is the gameplay, which they're having Platinum Games come in and help, and that's necessarily Platinum Games makes good combat. So it may not be game of the year overall, but it's more than likely going to be my game of the year. I fucking can't. Music Nier, game's fucking amazing. The story's amazing. The music's amazing. The character's amazing. Holy shit. And if you didn't know, up and coming action role-playing game developed by Platinum Games. Still not concerned, still looking for more information on this game. It has a window for 2016. I doubt that it's going to make 2016, considering how much, just because of how much is on Square Enix's, how it's played right now. Them doing Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15. I don't know. If I see it in 2016, that'd be cool. But I'm more than likely, at least in my mind, I probably won't be. In my mind, I'm thinking that I won't play this game in 2017 until we get that official delay of 2017. It's once again in the top 10 games I'm looking forward to playing 2016. So that's necessarily my list. Of course, there's some games that you guys were probably looking forward to seeing in there, or games that you're disappointed that you saw in my top 10. But then again, it's my top 10. If you want to go ahead and post your top 10, I'm totally down for that. I do want to thank you for watching. You go ahead and use your magical powers to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out my social links down below. And ADemonic out.